Welcome to Healthy by Knowledge, the show that makes being healthy easy by showing you how. And I am your host, Zaid Shah. Now, today I'm going to share with you a very simple recipe to substitute your carbohydrates with one simple ingredient that's plant-based, not so starchy, and low in calories. So if you're really trying to lose weight, this is the perfect substitute for you. And the main ingredient that we're going to be using is the cauliflower. Right, so to begin, just chop off all of the leaves of your cauliflower. So very simple, cut around it until you're only left with the actual flesh that you're going to be using. So very simple, nothing difficult. Okay, and just cut around the bottom there, get that off. And we're done. That is it. Make sure that you're only left with the white part of the cauliflower. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now before we get into making the rice, you want to wash your cauliflower. Okay, so now that that's done, there's actually two ways of prepping the cauliflower to actually turn it into our rice. And the first way is the easy way, which is using the food processor. Now, I'm a fan of using this. It simplifies the whole task and makes it a lot quicker and easier. But you can also use just a standard knife and chop it up finely. And I know that the majority of the people out there don't actually have one of these, so don't worry if you don't. You can actually use your knife and it'll do the same job. Just takes a little bit longer. So let's get into the two ways. Right, so chop the cauliflower in half, like that. Put one piece aside for later. And now all you do here is chop your cauliflower into little pieces so that you can stick it into the food processor, so that it can all blitz up equally and uniformly, and you're left with something that kind of resembles a type of rice texture that we're then gonna fry on a high heat for 3 to 5 minutes to get all of that moisture out. And then you're done really, that's your healthy carbohydrates right there. So, next step, place it in your food processor. Okay, so get that on there, stick it in. And you don't want to be blitzing this for too long. You kind of just want to blitz it no more than 15-20 seconds. That should do. This really does go quite fast. Okay, so place the lid on and switch it on. Right, so you can see it's getting there quite fast. I think that could be done. Maybe a little bit longer. Now a couple of seconds. And that's it. Really did take a couple of seconds to blitz up, and then this is what you're left with. This kind of consistency right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it basically looks like some form of rice / quinoa type texture. Right, so now that we have that, we're gonna go over to our pan, heat some oil on a relatively high heat, and fry the cauliflower off for about 3 to 5 minutes with a bit of salt to bring out all of that moisture. Right, so stick your pan on the heat, like that, get on a medium-high heat. Next, you're gonna add a good tablespoon of coconut oil. And you wanna get this nice and hot. Because the reason is now, our goal is to extract all of that moisture from the cauliflower. Now you have to remember that this is a vegetable, so it does have quite a high water content, and that's why we're going to be adding some salt to it as well, to draw out all of that moisture so that you end up with a nice dry consistency that's going to be soaking up all of the sauces that you have with this cauliflower rice. Okay, so look at that, the oil's looking nice and hot, it's looking good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now here we go. Okay, get that in there. And you just put the rest in. Now you want to add a nice big teaspoon of salt. And now all you want to do is work this. You just want to keep moving it around. Every 15 to 20 seconds, you keep moving it around so you can cook all of the cauliflower nice and evenly. okay? But what you're looking for really is a change in the color of the cauliflower. It's gonna start turning a little bit brown. And then you're also gonna see, because here, it's moving, but it's still a little bit stuck to the pan because it's still moist. But once all the moisture comes out of the cauliflower and it starts to dry up, well then it's very malleable. You can move it around the pan very easily, and that is a good indicator that your cauliflower is ready to be taken off the heat. So keep an eye out for that. If you're really trying to lower your calorie intake and you're trying to lower the starches that you take in, and you don't want to be spiking your blood sugar with every meal because you're eating white rice and white carbohydrates and a lot of grain, well, this is a great thing to have. It's a great side to have. Low in calories, doesn't spike your blood sugar, doesn't leave you feeling bloated after, and tastes great. So you can't go wrong when you're doing it this way. So you can see it's beginning to change color. It's beginning to become easier to move around the pan. So that's a good indicator that the cauliflower is beginning to lose a lot of its moisture. So that's how you keep an eye out for it. So I'd say another minute to a minute and a half there, and then you can plate up. Okay, that's looking nice and ready. But you see how easy that is to make. There's nothing difficult about it. And if you're really trying to lose weight and you're trying to minimize the amount of calories you take in each day because you don't want to be eating tons of carbohydrates, well, this is a great way to lay off the carbs in a way that doesn't even feel like you're laying off the carbs, because it tastes just like carbohydrates. It's just a great side, trust me. Give it a go. It takes 2 seconds, really good, really healthy, and you're fitting tons of vegetables in at the same time. Okay. And that's it done. So simple.